Hey guys, it's your girl Timeless E, and today I'm actually going to be showing you how to do the soft glam smoky eye. Just a very natural and neutral look. You can play it up, you can play it down, you can pretty much do whatever you want with this look, but it's very simple, and if you want to see how I do this look, then just keep on watching my video. Hey guys, so I just cleansed my skin. I use a foam cleanser. I'm more combination these days. And I actually like to start off with the serum. It's a dark spot correcting serum from Clinique. And then I go ahead and just pair that with my CAUDALIE Beauty Elixir. I do like this combination because it has a very brightening effect. And as I want to, just kind of cancel out some discoloration, I do a serum and then a spray on top of it. And then I'm going to go on with an illuminating moisturizer from First Aid Beauty. Guys, if you have any questions about any of the products that I'm using, I will leave a list of whatever I'm using in the video down below. But going back to the moisturizer, it does have a brush applicator tip, which is really easy to apply. I was very surprised. It's my first time using it. And the brightening effect does come from micro pearls in the actual moisturizer. It's a very thin consistency. It's not too oily and it's not too thin or water-based. Since I'm very dry on the outer parts of my face, but I'm very oily in the center, it really does work well for me and helps to even out my skin tone a little bit more. I always press in my moisturizers. That really is the best way to get the most benefits from any skincare product. Next, I'm going to be taking my Dr. Brandt Pores No More primer. It's almost running out, and that's kind of depressing me a little bit. But I always press that into my skin. I really don't try to rub it at all, and I don't apply it on the outer parts of my face because my foundation typically does slide because it's silicone based. And then some Carmex, girl. Yeah, girl. Next, I'm going to be taking my Cover FX color correcting stick in the color orange. And that works best typically for a medium to tan skin tone. You do actually want to warm up your creams typically because they have a drier consistency, but it is very full pigment. So I do like to run that on the back of my hand a little bit just to kind of help warm it up. And I typically just kind of map out where I want to color correct first, around my eyes, on the cheeks, around my mouth area as well too. I'm experiencing that pregnancy mask. I'm about 18 weeks. I will give you guys more information on that too later on in a different video. But I do like to use my fingers to press in my color correctors. It helps warm up the product a little bit better than a brush would. And you get a little bit more precise placement and you're not just applying color corrector all over where you don't need it. And you don't want your skin to look too orange or pick up that warm tone where you don't want correction. So just be very purposeful in your placement as you're doing this step. Next, I'm going to be taking my Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Aqua Foundation in the color Tan Sand. If any of you guys have a question about the Color IQ number, Color IQ is something they do at Sephora. It is 3Y10, so if you're anywhere close to that number, then you could probably try this shade as well. I like to mix that with my Cover FX Custom Cover Drops. These are like a godsend for me. I use them with pretty much any foundation because you can customize your coverage. And I use the color in N70. My face is typically a little bit warmer than the rest of my body. It's more neutral. So I do like to use the neutral color to match to my body a little bit more. Make sure you shake it up. Shake it up. And I actually use the palm of my hand to mix my foundations or use it as a well. The palm of your hand holds the most heat, and you really can break down the foundation and blend the pigments very, very well when you do this. And it does prevent your foundation from oxidizing. Next, I'm going to take my number 55 Pro Airbrush brush from Sephora collection. I love this. I love teaching brush technique. If you're like me and you have a little bit of texture on your skin, you want to evenly dab the foundation across your skin first in thin layers. Do not cake it on. Trust me, it does not look that great. Start by doing that first. blend out, and then you can actually layer where you feel like you need a little bit more coverage. So you don't want to buff, especially if you have larger pores or you have blemishes or things like that that you want to cover. You want to do a tap and pull method. So I'm doing it a little bit quicker here just to show you what it looks like and how it really does airbrush the skin. And it really does give it that flawless appearance. And make sure you pull it down the neck, you guys, as well. That's really, really important. You don't want that mask. And I just finish off around the nose area and the forehead. I typically don't need that much coverage in that area. So I just kind of lightly go over that with a little bit of something. Next, I'm going to take my Ultra HD Makeup Forever Concealer. It's in the shade R32. It is color corrective, so I love using that around my eye areas to highlight, because you can kind of kill two birds with one stone and really get that brightening without making it look too light, especially on a deeper skin tone. You want to make sure that your highlight isn't too ashy or too cool. You want to make sure that it has a little bit of warm undertone to it. And I usually use just my finger to tap it out. I use my fingers a lot for my complexion products. So sorry guys, my camera shut off, but what I did is I went ahead and set underneath my eye with the Kat Von D Lock-It translucent powder. And I just use a beauty blender to apply the powder underneath my eye. I do like how it applies with the beauty blender. It really does press the powder into the skin, helps it get a really nice set and prevents it from creasing overall. So you really do want to use something that is going to be kind of stiff or very dense if you're really setting in areas where you typically get a little bit more oily. And I'm definitely more oily throughout my T-zone. So I'll bake underneath my eyes. I'll set the center of my chin. I'll kind of go underneath the line where I want to contour as well. And I'll let that sit for a little while too. But I just make sure that the rest of my face is relatively matte. Okay, so I'm going to go into my Huda Beauty palette, the Rose Gold palette, which is sold out basically everywhere. It sucks because I wanted to get another one, but it's beautiful. And I'm going to be using my Pro Featherweight. It's the number 38 from Sephora Pro. And I love this brush. It's amazing for applying transitional colors or crease colors, or if you just want a soft wash of color. And I'm going to be taking the shade Henna. And I'm going to start from the outer corner of my eye and slowly start to buff that into my crease. I want the most amount of color on the outer part, so that's where I'm kind of focusing first, and then I'm just slowly sweeping that in to get a gradual gradient from the deepest color on the outer parts of the eye towards that really soft, light, almost like peachy tone towards the inner corner. Next color I'm going to be taking is Sandalwood. It's a lighter warm brown, and I just want to hit the edges of that. I'm not using that much eyeshadow because, again, I still want this to be relatively natural. Like I said, if you wanted to intensify or enhance this look, you definitely can. You would just add a little bit more color. And then I'm going to be taking Bay with the number 19 tapered crease brush, and I'm going to be starting at the brow bone and just lightly blending that downwards. I don't want the line of my crease to be extremely harsh, so I just want to make sure that that's very soft and hazy. Really, the trick with the smoky eye is just to make sure that you don't have any hard lines and to make sure that everything is well blended. Think of a smoky eye more as a technique and not a specific look. A smoky eye can be whatever you want. It could be dark, it could be light, it could be anything you want. Just be creative with it and you'll find the balance. Next, I'm going to be taking the shade Cocoa. And I'm going to be going in with my Makeup Forever. It's called the Straight and Wavy brush. It's a number 234. Makeup Forever brushes are bomb, okay? They're a little bit more on the expensive side, but they're definitely worth it. I would say invest in a few of them if you can, just because they are such high quality and you can have these for up to 10 years. And next, I'm actually placing that darker brown color on the outer part of my eye. I'm pressing it into place. You don't necessarily need to start blending right away, because what can happen is you start to blend and then you're going to cover up that crease color. So you want to actually stipple and press the color in, build up as much color intensity as you want, and then you can go back in with the blending brush and softly just blend it out. But build up that color first, really just tap it in however dark you want it to be, and then you can work from there. And then I'm going to be going back in with my number 19 brush. And I'm going to be grabbing the edge of that and just pulling that over. Notice how I'm picking up the brush and taking it back to the same starting point, because we still want that to be a nice winged effect. We want the darkest part to be on the outer corner of the eye. If you just start blending in windshield wiper motions, you lose lots of definition. And you can see that we keep the shape that we want. My eye's a little bit different of a shape on this side, so I do have to blend it out a little bit more and extend that color outwards. That way it lifts the eye up a little bit more, because this eye kind of droops downward just a little bit. Nobody's perfect. And then I'm going to be taking this Kat Von D. It's the Shade Light brush that comes with the eye palette. Or I think it goes with the eye palette. And there's a smudging side. And I'm actually going to be going back in with that dark brown, that cocoa color again. And starting from the outer corner of my lower lash line, I'm going to start to blend that in as close to the lashes as I can go. Basically, what you want to do is the same thing that you did to the upper lash line. So the darkest color is going to go closest to your lash line. Then it's going to slowly fade out from that dark, rich brown to that burnt orange to that light, warm brown color. So you just want to be systematic with everything that you do and work from one eye to the other. That way you can get a little bit more symmetry that way. And then I'm going to be taking Moon Dust and using the opposite side of that brush. And I'm just going to be patting that into the inner corner of my eyes, just to bring a little bit of added texture. Always use your mattes first, and then you can go in with your shimmers. That way it looks a little bit more neat and you don't have iridescent particles going everywhere. Next, I'm going to be taking the Stila Metallic Shadow in Rosegold Retro. These are so beautiful. If you haven't gotten one of these, please get your hands on some. I just love these. They go on wet and liquidy, but they really do dry down and they stay the entire day. You don't have to put any type of powder on top of it or anything. That's amazing. So just start from the center of your eye and just slowly start to feather out that color a little bit. The applicator is absolutely fine to use, honestly. Just make sure that you're very careful and that you don't take up that shimmer too high on your lid. I have a pretty open eye shape, but if you do have hooded eyes or a lid space that's not so broad as mine, you want to make sure that you keep that color just a little bit lower. Then I'm going to be taking Black Truffle and going back in with that Shade Light brush on that buffing end. And I'm not going to smoke it out so intensely. I'm just going to tap in a little bit of black eyeshadow just to blur out that edge and add a little bit of extra smokiness to the eye. I wanted this look to be really, really soft and still pretty natural-ish. I mean, it's not like natural, but it's still relatively wearable. Okay, so next thing, I just wiped off the bake underneath my eyes and then underneath my cheekbones. And I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Mr. Right brush. It's amazing. And I'm going to go in with my Sephora Collection Contour Palette. This palette is amazing. It's so good. It's only $28 at Sephora. And it's so pigmented. It's very blendable. It's awesome. So I'm just taking the first two colors and I'm mixing those on my brush. And I'm starting out at my cheekbones. I don't like a really defined contour. I want it to be very soft and just add a subtle bit of definition because I want the focus to be on my eyes. Make sure that if you're doing a makeup look and you want it to be balanced, that you focus on one aspect of the face and don't go overboard with everything else. You don't need to have really intense contour, very intense lips, very intense eyes, big lashes. Just keep it balanced. It looks more natural and it looks very pretty and soft. Next, I'm going to be going in with my Anastasia Sun Dip Glow Kit. And I'm going to be taking all of those colors in the palette. I typically don't wear too much illuminator, but I did like it for this look just because I did have that very glittery eye look. So I take that along my cheekbones, Cupid's bow, down the bridge of my nose as well, just to add a little bit of that glowy effect to the skin. And just finish it off right at the inner tear ducts of the eyes. I just tap a little bit on top of that moon dust color. Next, I'm going to be taking my FARAH lashes from Huda Beauty and my Duo Lash Adhesive. I love Huda lashes. I don't think I wear any other lashes besides Huda. I need to branch out a little bit more. But I just love them, honestly. And I went ahead and just applied these off camera because I was having some trouble. So yes, I came back with my lashes on, girl. And then I'm going to be applying just a little bit of Clinique mascara to the top just to blend in my lashes. And then also lots of mascara on the bottom. I love really long, full lashes. So I really do focus that mascara a lot on the bottom lashes as well because I like to pull those out a little bit more. And then I'm just going to be setting my face with the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. Big surprise. Spraying cliche all over me. And then for lips, I just used the Sephora Collection liner and I thought it was a little bit too dark. So now I'm going over it with the Kat Von D liquid lipstick in the color Lolita. I think it's a really pretty nude. It goes with pretty much any coloring that you're doing, any color scheme, any makeup design. It's great for any skin tone as well. Just looks really pretty and I think it finished off the look with that nice hint of pinkiness. Alright guys, so that is the finished look. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to my channel. This is my first video, so I'm still learning a lot about how, lighting and everything works. Please give me any ideas if you want to see something specific. And thanks so much for watching. Bye!